Welcome to part 10 of the 2023 NFL Draft and Review. Today we are going to be looking at the Tennessee Titans class. And my initial impressions is I'm not expecting very much of this class. The Titans are starting to kind of draft like a team that thinks they're a lot better than they are. And this will kind of go in depth on that, as with the first selection they made. We got offensive tackle Peter Skoronski. Obviously, this is to replace a long-time departure from this team. It doesn't really say the roster changes there, but it is what it is. Regardless, the Titans did lose one of their major offensive pieces, and this is the guy that they've elected to pick to hopefully plug the hole and hopefully create a little more time for the quarterbacks to do their job, whoever it is that ends up starting. Personally, I'm in favor of Ryan Tannehill because he looks a lot better than the other two quarterbacks currently on roster, but we'll get to that. For now, let's take a look at Peter Skoronski and see what the Titans might have gotten here. Left side.
Take a Zoe. You killed this one.
Seems to have a good bit of power and control, which is what I would hope to see from a offensive lineman picked this high. Well, like I said, I do think this is a good pick based on this. He seems to have pretty good control, very good speed for the position. Good awareness on seemingly where he needs to go, which defender he needs to engage on a block. So I think that this is going to be one of those picks that I think the quarterback and even to a lesser extent the running backs are going to appreciate. So that is what I would consider the good pick of this class. The rest of this class just doesn't make sense. So the first player we have that's got a stat sheet to look at is going to, of course, be quarterback Will Levis. And yeah, he pretty clearly wasn't the starter at Penn State. And he doesn't seem to have been a particularly effective starter in Kentucky. Yeah, a little more interceptions than I might like. Good completion percentage, but kind of low yardage for college football. So I think, as I recall, Kentucky does run the ball a little more than throwing it, but still, you would like to see a quarterback do a little bit better than that to be picked in the front 40 or so selections. So we'll come over here and take a look. This is going to be from Levis's 2022, not including 21. So I expect to potentially see a little bit more in terms of flaws here. So here we go. Will Levis.
Kiper, the expert on Thursday, updated his big board. He's got Levis 4th overall, second quarterback in the class. Levis play action on first down, takes a shot, right on the money, it's caught. Baryon Brown, the freshman, broke free on a play action, and that's the Kentucky spark they needed offensively. Goes for 39.
Rides the play action, has plenty of time to crank it up and go downfield and into the end zone for a touchdown to the freshman Dane Key. Will Levis, how about that?
Levis to throw. Quick hitter to the inside, and it's caught.
Levis, slant, touchdown, Baryon Brown.
Levis over the middle, wide open Brown, angling across the 40. It's a foot race to the end zone. Baryon Brown, touchdown, Kentucky.
So Levis will throw. Touchdown, Rashawn Lewis.
All the way at the top of your screen, 29 in white. Levis, look that way, looks off, fires over the middle, it's complete. It's a foot race, and it's a Kentucky touchdown. 69 yards to the house. Tavion Robinson.
Levis lofts it up to the corner, and Brown with the catch. Touchdown, Kentucky.
Will Levis getting some pressure, but going deep. The ball is wobbling in the air, and it's caught again by Baryon Brown.
I'm liking this receiver better than Levis.
Missiles one. Complete. Touchdown, Dane Key. Talk about threading the needle. They try to throw it again in the end zone. This time it's caught. Touchdown, Cats. Chris Lewis with the touchdown reception in the corner of the end zone.
All right, so my main thing with Levis is that of the front four quarterbacks of this class, he is probably the one I saw the most of before the draft. And I was not particularly enthusiastic about what I saw. He has a very strong arm. He can be very accurate, but I did see a lot of throws that didn't have quite the touch on them that you're going to need in the NFL. You know, these were throws that they'll get picked off in the NFL. They'll be deflected in the NFL. There are times where he did seem to hold it a bit long, and in the NFL, with a team that is going through its struggles like the Titans, that can be a sack. So it's one of those instances that I see why he fell. I think that this is somewhat of a Drew Lock, very development type quarterback that if you throw him in immediately, he is going to sink. You know, and that is a problem with the NFL right now, that quarterbacks, especially young ones, are expected to just go right in, start winning games. And that is not how everybody works, and that has never been how everybody works in the NFL either. So it's one of these things that I think that Will Levis is a quarterback that could probably have afforded to go to a team that is a little more patient, I guess you might say. And, well, he went to the Titans instead. And we had this pretty much exact thing with Malik Willis last year. They threw him in when he was not it already. Willis's confidence is shot. He looks like he's going to be an absolute dud now. When had they brought him along behind Ryan Tannehill properly, Malik Willis probably could have been the answer that they're trying to force Will Levis to be now, when Levis is another quarterback that's going to need time to develop. If you throw him in immediately, he's just going to sink. So really, in the end, what the Titans have done here is they have screwed over their starter, Ryan Tannehill, by getting rid of pretty much any receiving weapon worth a damn on this team. First letting Corey Davis out to replace him with the washed-up remains of Julio Jones, then trading A.J. Brown to draft discount A.J. Brown. It's like Ryan Tannehill's not a special quarterback. You need to give him weapons for him to succeed. And what did the Dolphins and Titans do? They took away the weapons. No shit, Ryan Tannehill's not going to succeed when he doesn't have anybody to throw to. And now they're, instead of accepting the blame lies on the previous general manager, who has been fired, they're still electing to blame the quarterback and drafting project guys that are not year one starters to try and replace the long-term veteran who will at least get you there if you do things properly. So, like I said, I don't really like this pick because the Titans have shown they do not have the patience to develop this pick. And it sucks because, well, Will Levis could probably have been a really good quarterback had he gone to a different team. But now it's a matter of wait till they bench Tannehill and hope he doesn't go against a defense worth a damn early on, or they're going to destroy him. Sucks, but that's the situation in my eyes. So, moving along to the next selection, we have running back Tyjae Spears. And this makes a certain amount of sense, but at the same time, I think this is the pick you maybe should have made 2 or 3 years down the road when Derrick Henry is actually finally done, instead of blowing the pick 2 or 3 years early and just having a backup who's never going to see the field that much. But if I recall correctly, though, the last major running back come out of Tulane was Matt Forte, so maybe Spears will do good in the NFL. So, 1,500 yards, 19 touchdowns in his final season at Tulane, so that's pretty good in college. So we'll come over here and take a little look at what Derrick Henry's likely backup is going to look like.
A massive start.
This is Spears bouncing outside and in for the touchdown. On 2nd and goal, this time it's Spears, and he is in for 6.
With Tyjae at quarterback.
Spears bounces out wide, and he's got a hat trick.
In goal, Tulane. Trying to
Seeing
get
a lot of
towards
short
the
yard
end zone.
touchdowns
Spears
here.
is touchdown.
On 2nd and 10. This is Spears. Some room, spins off a tackler and keeps going forward. Pratt hands off. This is Spears into the end zone untouched. Another look, Brian, at the touchdown run by Spears.
Coming off that left side, Joey Claybrook, who's had the most starts on that offensive, and Prince Pines, their guard on that left side, just opens up a massive hole. Untouched, walks into the end zone. That's that running game that is so...
Pratt to throw. And he's got Spears. Breaks a tackle. And up.
Wheel route by Spears out of the backfield. Uncovered. Will throw and catch. That'll add to your...
This is Spears. Big hole. 1 man to beat. And he's off to the races.
Not the call that I would think would be the most productive on 3rd and about 6-ish or so.
It's Spears. Finds a little bit of a seam and just tripped up. Michael Pratt in this Tulane offense have for response. Starts with Spears on the ground, breaking loose. Out of bounds he goes as he
suffered at the end of last week's game, and this is Tyjae Spears. They want to get him touches in space, and they from the 35. The toss back to Spears. Throw is low. He's able to scoop it, and he's got running room. Slams.
Just about be able to fill in the pressure.
Yeah. Like I said, this looks like your average backup running back selection. He doesn't really seem to have the explosive speed to really burst through a defense. He doesn't seem to have the same power that a guy like Derrick Henry has, but he does seem to have pretty good catching ability. He can run with blockers. He can get some extra yardage after hits and everything. I think this will make Spears a pretty good option for the Titans to have, because obviously I wouldn't say that Derrick Henry's in decline, but I would say that the amount of use the Titans have put on him is starting to show a little. So having Tyjae Spears to take a bit of the load off could be a good thing for the Titans. This could help not stabilize their situation, but at least help it a little bit. So that one's kind of it is what it is selection. So we'll be moving along to the next pick, which is tight end Josh Whyle. Actually, go down to the roster, so see what else I got tight end, and doesn't really look like much, so I won't dismiss him outright. Because usually these late round tight ends are absolutely nothing special in terms of catching the ball. And yep, that's about what I expected to see. Not even 350 yards. 2 out of 3 primarily big playing seasons. 15 touchdowns though, so maybe short yardage option. That is not a bad idea if you're intending to throw the quarterback that needs time to develop into die reasonably quickly. So that's kind of a 50-50, kind of good, kind of bad sort of situation from the start, but here we go.
Fickly called Tucker the culture of the program as Bryant sends it over the middle, and there's the first touchdown of the game. Josh Whyle makes on this throw.
Pretty good protection up front, but the timing's just perfect on this. As soon as Josh
is willing to engage, Ritter to throw on first down. Ritter wants Whyle, and it's there for the touchdown.
15th play of this drive. Ritter, end zone, wide open Whyle for a
zone offense. The question for Cincinnati. There's your red zone touchdown. Whyle.
Compared to a field goal is a big difference at this point in the game.
Bryant keeps it wide open. Josh Whyle, touchdown.
Receiver in motion. On 3rd and 8, Bryant looking right now, back middle, throws short middle. Whyle,
Bryant looking to throw over the middle, wide open. That's Josh Whyle. His second catch of the game.
Ritter down the middle. Whyle, the tight end, has a first down.
Yeah, this just looks like a pretty safe possession type of tight end. You can line them up where you want to. Receiver, traditional tight end, fullback, really wherever you want to put him. And with the seeming lack of a real top guy at tight end, he has a chance with the Titans, but I don't know if I really see a absolute top flight tight end here. This looks more like a certain situations if the defense misses their matchups sort of guy. So I'm not sure I'd call this a fix at the position, and that's not necessarily a good thing because, like I said, you've got 3 quarterbacks that are all either development projects like Levis and to a lesser extent Malik Willis, guys that have had their confidence destroyed by an impatient regime, Willis, or guys that just need targets to succeed, Tannehill. So you don't have a quarterback really that's going to really elevate the player, so this is one of those real he has a chance, but I'm not sure if he's going to capitalize sort of picks. So that'll bring us along to the second final selection, offensive tackle Jaelyn Duncan. And I wasn't really able to find too much to really watch a bit, just in terms of more just longer, in-depth film studies, which can kind of overhype these late round guys. And some Senior Bowl stuff, which I really don't like watching, because the Senior Bowl is basically the college equivalent of the Pro Bowl. It's a joke. So I can't really say what Jaelyn Duncan's going to be in the NFL. I would say, considering that what we're seeing here in terms of tackle options, that he's probably a backup from the beginning. But beyond that, not sure really. So we'll see. Some of these late round offensive linemen do end up panning out pretty well. So don't dismiss them out of hand. So the final pick is Colton Dowell, and yeah, that's what I thought. No stat line because that is not an FBS school. This website could really use stand to increase their selection of players to the FCS guys, but it does have a bit of a highlight reel, so we'll watch and see.
The first time he's been in this
This
building.
is against an SEC school, so if he does something on this, that'll be
throws
nice.
the deep ball, and he got him inside the 10. It's Colton Dowell.
Nice. Good throw, but good catch too.
Backus has the ball, throws across the middle. Dowell hops over a defender, cuts to the outside, across the 20, out of bounds at the 7.
Wynn uncorks. Caught. First down and a little more. It's Colt.
Boise State, not a bit higher competition
Air it
usually.
out. Look into the end zone. Got his man.
Pretty much just
Colton
beat the
Dowell
defender.
On a 4th and 12. Third down. Win to the boundary. And Colton Dowell was able to get.
Sportsmanlike penalty. UTM is set up, and this pass is caught. Little catch by Colton Dowell. He had in the playoff victory. Open man, and it's into the end zone for a touchdown for UTM. Colton.
And then maybe the win of the year last week. Win off the back foot. Throws a duck, and it's caught by Dowell.
More out of Denton, Texas.
He does seem to have good hands. There were some throws in there that were not particularly good, but the main thing for me is really just where's he going to shake out here, because the Titans receivers, as we see here, this is not a good list. This is a joke. They're pursuing DeAndre Hopkins for a reason. Let's see what Treylon Burks did in his first season. Yeah, 400 yards, replacing A.J. Brown. That is horrific. None of these other guys I even really have heard of, except for Nick Westbrook-Akine. So, assuming that DeAndre Hopkins gets signed by the Patriots in the very near future, the Titans are pretty much shit out of luck in terms of free agent options. Treylon Burks is going to have to basically be the number one guy again. But after that, it's really who's the number two guy, and thus Colton Dowell could have a chance at being that guy. But then again, that goes for the rest of these guys too, because the bar is so low that, if you can show that you're a guy that can maybe put up 700 yards on the year, you might hop Burks for number one. I don't really envy the situation that these quarterbacks find themselves in. I don't envy Tyjae Spears and Derrick Henry, because for the load that Spears could take off of Henry, I can only see that load increasing as the Titans run the ball more to cover the fact they have basically no passing options whatsoever. So I won't say that Powell is a guaranteed shot, because he's not, but he's got a chance, which is a lot better than most 7th round receivers can say. A lot of those guys are cut fodder, so Dowell could make the team, he could be important, or he could get hopped by one of these other guys that is in the running. So that's another kind of a we'll see pick. If he makes the team, then I would say he's got a pretty good chance going forward. So, but overall, this class just kind of feels like the Titans weren't doing very much. You're trading picks around to Houston and Arizona and then Atlanta there. And you pretty much go, they did go entirely offense, all 6 picks. Now, this is a team that's got some pretty outstanding holes. This defense is not a solid unit. The offense is chock full of holes, and it just feels like this team's continuing to try to compete when I think anyone who can really look at a game of football and tell when a team needs to go back to the drawing board. The Titans are basically at the point of, you don't have much left. You might as well blow it up and start from scratch because you're not getting any closer with what you've got. You had your chance, you blew it. So this draft just kind of comes off a little puzzling to me. So I like Skoronski and Spears. I observe the potential for Wiley and Dowell to make an impact if they make the team. And if Levis wins the fucking lottery in terms of career luck, he could do something as well. But generally speaking, I only see Skoronski as the guaranteed, impact player of this class. 1 out of 6, and the rest are if everything bounces their way. So I've got to pull this one at basically a C-, maybe even a D+ class, because there's just not very much here unless literally every possible thing goes right. And for a team like the Titans, that's just not a good situation to be in, so I don't really like this class that much. So that is going to do it for today's video. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, follow me on Twitter, all the good stuff. And I will be seeing you tomorrow morning for the Colts draft class. Going to be dealing with a lot more high-end quarterbacks. I'm happy to finally get to these guys. I'm interested to see Anthony Richardson for the, first in-depth time, but my initial impressions of him during the draft was pretty good, so we'll see you tomorrow.